The flood. Chapter 1. Aunt Claire. Susan and Emma's parents were going on a trip. "I'm sorry we can't take you kids with us," their mother said. "Aunt Claire will stay with you. I think everything will be fine." "Of course everything will be fine," their father said. "What could go wrong?" A car came up the driveway. Aunt Claire got out of the car. "I hope I'm not late," she said. "I had a project to finish at my store. I forgot to check the time." "You should wear a watch," Susan's mother said. Aunt Claire waved her arms. She had old silver bracelets on both wrists. "Watches are no fun," she said. "I like to wear fun things." Aunt Claire was the owner of a store called the Junk Shop. That was a fun way of saying she sold old junk, or old things that were worth little. Aunt Claire always gave her nieces good presents. Today she gave Susan a pretty box filled with old beads. She gave a toy alligator to Susan's sister, Emma. Emma loved the alligator. She named it Fluffy. "Fluffy can sit on my bed," she said. "Fluffy isn't a good name for an alligator," Susan said. "Don't make your sister feel bad," her mother warned. Susan wasn't trying to make Emma feel bad. She was just trying to help. Susan's parents finally said goodbye and left. After dinner, Emma watched a video about dinosaurs. "Let's make some popcorn," Aunt Claire said. Susan got out the popcorn. Her aunt cut open a package and poured it into a pan. "No," Susan said, "that's not how you do it. You put the whole package in the microwave." "Oh," said Aunt Claire. "I don't have these modern appliances in my kitchen." A very wet problem. Aunt Claire did not have modern appliances, but she really knew how to cook. The next morning, she made pancakes for breakfast. Aunt Claire showed Emma how to use blueberries and bananas to make faces on the pancakes. After breakfast, Susan had to get ready for soccer practice. She remembered her socks were still in the dryer, but when Susan opened the door to the basement, she got a big surprise. Water was pouring from a leaky pipe. The floor was flooded, and the water was rising fast. Susan rushed back to the kitchen. "We have a very wet problem," she said. Aunt Claire started to call plumbers, the people who fix leaks. But no plumbers were at work because it was Sunday morning. Aunt Claire left messages for them. Susan thought about what her mother would do. "Maybe we can turn the water off," Susan said. "Mom turned off the water during construction of our new bathroom." "Let's go check," Aunt Claire said. "Put on your rain boots." Emma was in the doorway. "Are there alligators down there?" she asked. She looked hopeful. "No," Susan told her. "Fluffy is the only alligator in this house." In the basement, Aunt Claire was looking behind the washing machine. There were pipes everywhere. Each pipe had a turn-off valve. Aunt Claire tried them all, but the water kept pouring from the leaky pipe. Chapter 3. Help Comes. "Those plumbers won't call back for hours," Aunt Claire said. "Everything in the basement will be wet and ruined. I'm going to call the firehouse." Aunt Claire ran back upstairs. Susan stayed in the basement. She knew there was another valve. Susan listened to her aunt talking on the phone. "I have an emergency here," Aunt Claire said. The whole place is filling up with water." Aunt Claire sounded very worried. Emma was in the kitchen with her aunt. She was yelling, "Alligator! Alligator!" Suddenly, Susan remembered the closet next to the laundry room. The family kept sports equipment in there. Susan looked inside and saw the water meter. A very large valve was below it. This was where her mother had turned off the water. Susan turned the valve. The water from the pipe slowed down. Then it stopped. Susan had stopped the flood. Susan went upstairs. 2 firefighters were at the front door. "Is everyone here all right?" one of them asked. "It's over," Susan told them. "The basement was flooding, but I found a way to turn the water off." Aunt Claire looked embarrassed. "I'm sorry. I guess I got too excited." "We try to help in all kinds of emergencies," one of the firefighters said. "But it would be better to ask a neighbor for help first." "Your call made us curious," the other firefighter said. "We've never had an alligator emergency before." "Fluffy," Emma said. "The name of my alligator is Fluffy." The firefighters saw Emma's toy. "Great," they said. "I wish there was a way we could thank you," Aunt Claire said. "We're having a pancake breakfast next Saturday," one of the firefighters said. "We need another cook." Aunt Claire volunteered to cook for the firefighters' pancake breakfast. Susan helped too. They made the best pancakes ever. They added apples, blueberries, and bananas. They had syrup, butter, jam, and even powdered sugar on the pancakes. One firefighter flipped pancakes high in the air and caught them on a plate. Everyone clapped. Later, the firefighters gave Susan a tour of the firehouse. She slid down the firefighter's pole. Susan thought about becoming a firefighter one day. She could even help in any emergency. She could help with the flood in the basement. The flood.